My life was good, but something happened in my life that has changed the entire thing of my life. Today, in this video, I'm going to share you. Hi, I'm Rinki Han, TCRM expert and MSME business coach. I would like to tell you one story. I was, as appointed sales and product development manager, and I was so much excited that time that I will take this kind of innovation, invention, and other things also. Creativity was full of that and blah blah blah. Then I have realized it's not about how much you know, it's about how you do and what you do and why you do basically. So I was, developing a product. Okay, for developing a product, I had to do some kind of market research. I had to know what is the problem of the market. I had to do some kind of solution on that basis. Then I have to make the product or service. For knowing the market, I have to make some kind of calls to the customer segments who are going to purchase my product, or who are going to take my product, or who are going to come down to my office and test that product or see that product demonstration. So I was trying to make calls for the customers, and I was saying, okay, that sir, we are developing a new type of product and blah blah blah. I would like to have a interview of yours, I have a time with you. And the phone was shut. That was the frustrating time. I had to make calls for 40 to 50 calls a day, and I was frustrating. And I then assigned my team to do the same thing, and they were also making calls, though they were not so much experienced people, but they were trying to make calls and calls and calls. And we had just ended up 2 to 3 months into this, just making calls and zero result. See, making calls was good, but it was not so much productive, and we had to we had the target to get those few customers into our office, or those few customers lead to before developing a product. So there was a timeline into that, and everybody saying was, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to know about the customer, you have to know. How would I know about the customer when customer is not listening to me? I was just frustrated. Then I decided to not do this kind of things. Okay, so I invent some kind of, I thought I have introduced some kind of innovation. Then in that innovation, I take an idea to not make so many calls, cold calls basically, when people are frustrating that we are making cold calls, and those people, they are not aware that we are going to make calls, and they got frustrated by us. So I said not to frustrate any person anymore. So except cold call, what we can do, I have had an idea that I have innovated that idea to not make a cold call, instead using the cold emails. Okay, then I start create a list of all the customers when we are going to pitch our product, and when we are going to survey with them. So and there is a list of around 300 to 350 plus, and I made that list, and I feed into my mail and did the bulk mail to them. After one day, I got the 10 revert from them. Okay, this, we are willing to see your product, we are willing to talk to you regarding your product, we are willing to come down to your office and have a discussion with you. I said, boom, what was that? I didn't have to burn my energy, I didn't have to burn my time to making calls to that particular customer, and they did me revert back in a positive way. Out of 300, I got a 10 days, which means less than 3% conversion, but still it's okay. I got the lead. I called upon the 10 people when I call those 10 people, they already know me, they already know my product, they already know about us. And then when I said hello sir, he said, yes Inky, hi, how are you? I was just, wow, that was great. I said, wow, that's great, people know me. Wow, so good. So I call upon to them and ask them to come down to my office. I did this for around 1.5 months, but then I was so much confused after doing this. I mean, you know, the innovation leads nowhere. Now, where? I mean, to be at any type of effective, all innovation needs to some kind of quantified. If I talk about the quantified, how would I know? How would I know whether my innovation is working, whether my innovation have worked or not? Like, I'm talking about the numbers, numbers that that have the impact on the innovation, on the innovation mix, which I did. So how can I do that? So I thought to start with the data mining, that how many customers came to me, how many customers have asked about my product price, how many customers have I have seen in the person, how many customers I have demonstrated, how many customers have took my dummy product, how many customers, what product I have sold to them, what part basically of the product I have sold to them, and when was that day I was busy in the week, and when was the what was the high value pricing which I have supposed to told them. So I have wrote down everything, like I made a list of this type of list. So I made down everything into this, then I calculate that before the innovation what was the number, and after the innovation. Now I was still confused whether this is going to work or not. Then I implement another thing. So I made a cold call innovation, then I did the second innovation, that's called a dressing code. So whenever they come, I did the 6 weeks challenge, 6 weeks dressing code innovation, and where for the 3 weeks I had to wear blue suit with the white shirt and white blue skirt with the red scarf and the black boots, okay, sorry, black heels. So I did it for 3 weeks. Then another 3 weeks I did it, I have to wear the brown suit with the brown skirt with the blue shirt and the red scarf, the brown scarf and the black polish boot. So I did that. Whatever customer was coming, I don't know, the innovation really worked. And again I did the quantification list, started with me, that how many customers have seen me, how many customers have approached me, how many customers said yes they like the product, how many customers have said that they're going to buy their product, how many customers on the pipeline, how many customers is taking that seriously. So I again list those, write down those lists, and it's like again boom, it really worked. I mean, people can't even think this small innovation can change the entire process. Now I have seen that out of that those 3% people have already booked my product which is under development. I said, wow, that's a great. So this kind of innovation, this kind of quantification we do in the business growth workshop, and we basically teach, we basically coach to the business owners what type of thing they need to adapt to their business and to grow them. Because if they can't even, if I talk about the numbers, if they can't even surely know about the numbers of their business, how they and their people can think about the business, entire business in the terms of numbering. Business is all about to calculate, to innovate. Or every time you have to innovate, every time you have to calculate, every time you have to take some kind of decision, every time you have to implement some kind of, whether that innovation is working on or not. this is kind of like a critical thing, whether that critical number is working or not. So you would be the familiar with your business, as like you are the doctor of the business who are checking in your pulse and the blood pressure rates. So if you want to know more about the business, about the innovation and quantification, please write down me on comment, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. For now, till then, bye bye.